chef Maya-Camille Broussard thinks almost anything is better when it's baked into a buttery crust. That explains the variety and creativity of the offerings of Justice of the Pies, her Chicago bake shop, and in her fantastic recipe book. And all her efforts serve another mission: to expand opportunity and access for both food creators and their customers. All this sugar for two people? In the kitchen of Chef Maya-Camille Broussard, we begin with the classic ending to any good meal: dessert.
Moderation is key when enjoying sweets. It is banana pudding!
And the making by request of my favorite childhood sweet.
This is what I love about this dessert. There's so many different variations. You can have custardy, you can have whipped, you can have it warm, you can have it cold. I think that the technique is what makes someone's banana pudding good, because it's all about technique equals consistency.
There it is.
And you've made banana pudding. Voila.
Technique and consistency built Broussard's Culinary incubator, which she started 8 years ago. It now has 50 private kitchens for food entrepreneurs.
I started at first as a satellite bakery. I wanted to see how could I grow my brand without a storefront, because I wanted to try to decrease my overhead as much as possible. I wanted to focus on educating the consumer about how great my product is. I wanted to just go slow and steady, because that was the best way to win the race.
Considering her reputation, she's already won. Broussard's desserts and baked goods rank among the city's finest, but her pies take the cake.
Describe some of those flavors.
The one pie that a lot of people turned their nose up on at first was my blue cheese praline pear pie, and then it became the favorite pie. I describe it as similar to eating a payday candy bar. The strawberry basil key lime pie is a bit of savory herbaceousness with the tartness of the limes.
How did you get the word out? How did you brand yourself?
I first started selling pies at farmers markets, and that is the best way to get the word out, like the Daily Plaza Farmers Market, which is right in front of City Hall and where the courthouses are. So a lot of judges and attorneys would come down and they would see my name and they would say, wait a minute, I knew your father, you know.
Her father made his name as a student activist in 1968 at Northwestern University. Among other things, he helped establish the school's African American Studies program. He then became a prominent criminal defense attorney in the city, which didn't always sit well with her.
So these were people that I saw come into our home, and I knew my dad represented them, and I was like, how could you represent him? Did he really do that? And he said, well, everyone deserves representation. Everyone deserves a second chance. And so with my bakery, I wanted to make a difference and make an impact.
She now has her own brick-and-mortar bake shop,
one lemon bar,
aptly situated on Chicago's South Side.
We need people like me who are willing to bring their businesses to the South. In Chicago, everybody wants to be in Fulton Market in the Gold Coast, because that's where tourism is, celebrity chefs are. And so with the visibility I have, I wanted to be an early adopter to the Avalon neighborhood.
The baker feels right at home here, despite growing up in Chicago's affluent Hyde Park neighborhood. Her father was raised in a housing project on the West Side, where food was scarce. That complicated relationship with food has fed into programs like the I Need Love workshop.
I need love, like kneading dough. And the whole purpose of the workshop is to teach 5th through 8th graders basic kitchen skills.
Something Broussard says she could have used when home alone, when her dad worked late at night.
And I'll tell you why this is important to me, because I think children at that age learn to be more self-sufficient in the kitchen.
She's become one of the city's biggest promoters.
I always tell people there's only 2 cities that I consider to be like food cities.
Which are?
New Orleans and Chicago.
Chicago?
Chicago.
Not New York, not San Francisco.
Nope.
And why Chicago?
Well, first of all, it's extremely diverse. I don't think people realize how diverse Chicago is. Property-wise, we have so much land mass here that there's an opportunity to open up a restaurant anywhere. We're not really competing for a restaurant space.
Broussard is a 2022 James Beard Outstanding Baker finalist
I have a lot going on, but growing up with a disability, I've learned to go above and beyond what's required.
and was the featured pastry chef on the Netflix series Bake Squad.
To me, being a part of the deaf and hard of hearing community is normal.
These are legit intense.
Where she exposed her invisible disability, something she's lived with since she was a toddler.
I mean, you set a real scene for us.
Her audience and fellow cast members rallied around her.
I like the healthy competition. I freaking love the ambition.
When the show first aired, the number of messages I got from people who said, my child is 4 years old and just got a cochlear implant and just saw the show and now he wants to be a chef just like you.
I am choosing Maya-Camille's.
She didn't feel that way growing up.
It was just so easy to make fun of me. And I tried very hard to fit in. And now I try very hard to stand out. And so I embrace my otherness. And I embrace my otherness through the food that I'm creating and the recipes that I'm developing.
Which brings us full circle.
So good, Olive.
A taste of so many of her delicacies all at once.
So this is an unorthodox take on a classic buttermilk biscuit.
Is it?
Savory confections,
I call it the Our Lady of Quiche.
She is a lady.
She is a lady.
intoxicating sugar highs.
And then I have peanut butter cookie, but in Chicago we call it a lunchroom cookie. And then this is the oatmeal chocolate chip.
My mouth is watering just watching you.
Choices beyond the limits of calorie counting. With hopes of nourishing an often overlooked community. But if I had to choose,
The winner, the lemonade, strawberry lemonade pie.
But you like fruit.
Yes. Delicious. Thank you.
Right now, the rate of single women becoming homeowners is actually soaring, not just here in Metro Atlanta, but all across our country. Women own millions more homes than their male counterparts, while often earning a whole lot less. 11 Alive's Don White is in Atlanta finding out what's driving this trend.
Nationally, single women own almost 11 million homes. That is 2.5 million more than single men. And here in Georgia, women outpace their male counterparts in home ownership by almost 4%. Lola Rafai wasn't happy about her living situation,
I hated having to find a new apartment every year.
so she took action
I saved money and I live below my means.
with a clear goal in mind.
Financial stability is just something I value naturally. So when it was time for me when I made the decision that I wanted to own a home, I just kind of ramped up that financial stability, just making sure my credit was good, making sure I paid off all my credit cards.
Lola bought this one-bedroom, one-bathroom condo at just 26 years old.
I think I closed at 170,000. What I like the most about my home personally is that obviously it's mine. I have made this into a space where I'm completely comfortable and I've made it my home. Are you thinking about getting a bike?
Lola's real estate agent, Ariel Lee, says most of her clients are single women.
I just feel that women are now saving or they're taking advantage of the programs that are currently out there, such as down payment assistance or the Georgia Dream.
Ariel believes some other factors may be behind the trend.
I feel that women are now just taking control of the narrative when it comes to their own finances. We're no longer waiting on marriage to start investing in real estate. I anticipate female homeownership to continue in its upward trajectory.
This young homeowner has a message for other women as she makes her financial dreams a reality.
Don't be afraid of money, understanding how it works, understanding what you can do with it and how to leverage it, because that's what's going to move you forward. And that's what's going to empower you to get in these spaces where you can feel comfortable starting the process to own your own home or starting a business or anything like that.
Lola says her condo is her starter home and eventually she would like to move and buy a house. In Atlanta, Dawn White, 11 Alive News.
Good morning. Today it is Sunday. It is July 9th. The year is 2023. It's a beautiful, cool Sunday morning. I'm sitting out here on the deck. Dogs are put up. I just fed they behind over there running around. I got my, I can see I got rid of the beard, or some of them trying something different over here. I was tired of all that high maintenance of that beard, so I did a little goatee cut thing. I don't know if y'all can see it or what it looks like. I don't know. I think it looks okay. I'm gonna try this for a little while. Low maintenance. Anyway, it is a beautiful Sunday. I'm sitting out here on the deck enjoying a cup of coffee. Transitioning. Remember I told you I'm transitioning away from a lot of previous videos I did in the past. I want to do something that's a more positive, uplifting for me personally. I don't know about the rest of you motherfuckers, but I can't keep doing this shit. But I have to sit here and look at crime and murder and mayhem and confusion. Goddamn. This is a beautiful story of two, black women in the United States had an opportunity to have great success in this country at the expense of black men. So some of you all live in this fantasy world, and it is a truly fantasy world, that in this country, African American men have had a very hard time. Even my father and his father, and they've gone forever. Nothing has changed. If you think that this country wants African American men to succeed you, or black American men to exceed you out your damn mind. If you think this country wants black families to succeed you, even more insane. You can't live in a fantasy world forever, y'all. And I'm talking to black people right now. I don't care about the rest of these other people. I'm talking about our situation here in this country and what has happened here in this country, what continues to happen in this country, and what will continue to happen to the day I die. If you really think the United States, the way this country is set up, you think this country wants to see black people succeed, you are a fool. You are ignorant. You are stupid, and you are naive, and you know nothing about the country in which you live. Now, back to these stories. I think these are great stories, though. You have an African-American woman who started off a pie shop in her home, making desserts. She's having great success, doing very well, well-renowned dessert maker, pie maker in Chicago. I would love to go there. If you're in Chicago, you may have already heard of her. You may have even had some of her desserts. I live here in Atlanta, so I have not had an opportunity to go and enjoy these delicious desserts. They sure look good. I need to fly on up to Chicago and give you some of the delicious pies she did made. But these are inspiring stories for us, because even in these troubled times, some of us are able to break free. However, I do think black women have a little bit easier in the United States. And I'm not saying, white guy, yeah, they just saying. But I do think that they have black women present the white establishment. Let's just get it on out there. None of y'all go, he said the white establishment. What did he say? Yeah, you racist white folks is what I should have said. This country here, y'all, I'm telling you, I never again. I was renovating them houses. The white folks didn't want to see my black face in there. I'm about to we renovated this house. They were like, "What? Y'all did this house?" It was shocking. And I wasn't shocked by it, so disappointed. But the truth of the reality was, I knew them crackers didn't want to see my black ass in the neighborhoods renovating them houses. They most certainly didn't want to buy those houses from me. So it is very complicated for black men to own a business in the United States and attract large groups of people. You'd have to have a business job. I know some of y'all don't want to hear this shit because y'all just so fucking ignorant. It just don't make no damn sense. But I had considered opening up a renovation company back in the day, and I realized it ain't gonna work, because the only way that business would have worked is I'd had to hire a whole bunch of white people to pretend like they were running the business while I was in the background doing all the fucking work. So I said, this ain't for me. I don't want to. It just, would I have made money? Oh, sure, I would have made a hell of a lot of money. But I would have been hiding in the background mopping floors. I pretended to be mopping floors, but I was sitting at the desk when my white folks came in there. You can't just cater to black folks, y'all. You gotta cater, your business has to be catered to everyone. And we all, if you know anything, y'all, listen. I went into a soul food place around the corner from here called the Collard Green. It's a restaurant up the street from where I live at. And it was shocking me. I walked in there, there was a whole bunch of white folks in there eating. Everybody got some white people in here finally sitting down at the table, sitting there eating. I was like, what didn't happen here? Did y'all get lost? Do you know where you are? Was everything else closed? Because it's very unusual for white folks to support a black-owned business. Y'all, let's just keep it real. I know some of y'all don't like to hear that mess, but it's just the truth. It's just the truth. Yeah, I've been kicked out of so many banks, banking while black. Bank accounts shut down and closed for no reason other than it has some money in the account, a lot of money. And they said, okay, where does nigga get all this money from? Close that damn account. So I mean, right here. A bank can close your bank account for any reason whatsoever. They don't need to. They don't have to tell you why. They can just close it. You gotta go take your money and transfer it someplace else. They don't have to do business with you. Now, I didn't mean kicked out of Bank of America, Wachovia, Wells Fargo, Navy Federal. Back over there, Navy Federal let me back in. I'm back. First Union. Over the years, mainly because I walked my black ass and they was just taking care of regular banking business. And they looked at my black ass and said, okay, nigga, where you get this money from? You know, like, they look at you like, oh, is this your account? Can I see some ID? You got any other ID? You got a credit card? You got something? Birth certificate? Mama's name? Daddy's name? Maiden name? All this information? Dude, what is the problem? So I've learned to keep my black ass out in banks. I don't go in there for no reason. I do everything over the internet, over the phone, or whatever. That needs to be done. It's very rare I walk into a bank, and there really is no need to this day and age to go into a bank unless something's going on that requires you to go into the bank. I don't have to go in there. I don't go to banks, ATM for what? What's the point? But it is nice to see there's those two reports. One, the black business, the pie maker, the dessert maker in Chicago. And I've known this for years. African American women own more homes than black men. Why is that? Y'all don't want to accept the reality of it, right? I already know that what the problem of it is. Every time I go to refinance or purchase a home, I run into all kinds of problems, y'all. When I went to buy this house, the white real estate agent met me out at this house to give me the key to the door. I told her my name. This bitch proceeded to look me up on Facebook and make some very insane comments to Earl. And Earl really did not handle that appropriately with that white bitch. He didn't. And I wanted to cuss at her. And at that point, I wanted to back away from buying this house. Because what she was trying to do was really force us away from here. She didn't check my Facebook page. What the fuck are you checking my Facebook page? And what do you think you're going to see? And what did you see today? And she made some comments to Earl. And I asked Earl, what the fuck is this bitch talking about? Okay, he called me. I just spoke to her, and she said this and that. I said, what is this bitch talking about? Well, get that bitch on the phone. Oh, no, I handle it. I said, no, and I let him handle that white bitch. I was about to call her ass and cuss her ass out. I mean, we would not have bought this house. Then she had the nerve to sit there at that closing table and try to be friendly to me. I gave her the hand. I said, bitch, don't talk to me. I'm dealing with this attorney. I ain't say she did that white bitch at that damn closing attorney. At that closing table. Nothing. I wanted to slap her ass. I wanted to cuss her ass out. Oh, ignorant white racist bitch. Y'all better wake up and look around you and realize where we live at and what's going on in this country. Some of y'all live in a fantasy world. You're not living in reality. Y'all seem to think they want to give you the same opportunities and the same chances that they have. They don't want you there, honey. You think these white folks were happy to see a nigga walk up this hill and walk into this house? No. Every house I've ever owned, I've had that problem. Even houses we were renovating for resale, the white folks ran over there. What are you doing? Where are you from? How you gonna do this? Man, bitch, mind your fucking business. We live in a fantasy world around here. But you gotta go on with life, business as usual. I couldn't let this white bitch keep me from getting this house, and I knew there was money inside this house. There's some money inside that house. I said, okay, this white bitch, she better be lucky. I knew this bitch was gonna be worth twice the price of what I paid for it. So this had just been an everyday run-of-the-mill house worth nothing. I told that bitch, fuck you, what, I'm out of here. When I showed him on, I don't know what I know now, this damn work. But anyway, it was nice to see some positive stories. Once again, I'm trying to pivot away from this depressing stuff. Away from things that point out the negativity in our community. We know what's going on. We know crime. We know black folks are being shot and killed on a regular basis. We know the school systems are crap. We know these kids are not getting their education. We know that once they even get through high school diploma, many of them cannot read math, write or do math or use a computer. So we know this. If you don't know it, you will find out. But there are opportunities out there, and I think black women have it easier. I think they've opened the door more for black women. Black women own more businesses. They own more homes. And a lot of people say, oh, yeah, black women own more, and they be excited. But they don't realize, okay, listen, they opened the door for you because they slammed up a whole bunch of doors for black men. And they keep slamming them damn doors and keep slamming them damn doors and keep slamming them damn doors. Y'all don't get that, though. You don't want to hear it. You live in a fantasy world for some odd reason. Black folks live in a fucking fantasy world. There's no way I would bring children into this world because, oh, Lord have mercy, it's such hard for black children today. In particular, our black boys, they don't stand a chance. They got to deal with these bad-ass schools, the streets, our communities that we live in, the police officers, God forbid they end up having to deal with the judicial system or court system. Come on now, y'all. We just can't be that stupid. You just can't continue to pretend like it's business. You just can't ignore all this stuff because you don't like the way it sounds. Even I had to wake up and realize these evil ass crackers and things and who they are, how they operate. But it's just the truth of the matter. But if you live in Chicago, go over there and get one of them delicious pies or show which I can order. You want to have it shipped to my front door? I might go to Chicago just because that place looks beautiful where she has set up. And we have some very nice owned black businesses here in Atlanta and various other cities too. We all know this. Here we have there are a lot of black owned businesses here. And to be honest with you, you're gonna make it in this country. You have to own your own business. All the time I got a resume and I'm going to 9 to 5. I'm gonna go work for these white folks. It's a bunch of fucking bullshit. It ain't worth it no more for a lot of folks. I have a lot of conversations with a lot of people that ain't doing life as well. Y'all, when I was I've always been self-employed though. I've always did my own thing. Maybe because I was a convicted felon, I'm in prison, and I decided I just need to do this on my own. I wasn't fearful nor afraid to do my own thing. I'm not afraid. I speak to a lot of black folks and they're so afraid. I'm like, tell what y'all scared of. You already here now. Shit, the fear should be out the window. What is there to lose? I don't get it. You know, I talk to people that got an 850 credit score. Okay, so what are you doing with this 850 credit score? You gonna carry that 850 credit score to your grave with you, but you're not doing anything to help you start a business or do anything or do something, buy a house, renovate, rental property, do something, investment property, do something. What's the purpose of you having this 850 credit score or you sitting up at home watching Oprah with her billions? I don't get it. So afraid of risk. So afraid or scared. See, I'm not scared of nothing. It's the least of my damn words. Scared, afraid of somebody. When that white bitch was talking that shit, I was afraid I was going to go to jail for slapping the shit out of her ass at that damn posting table. I wanted to. I gave that bitch the hand. I said, no, ma'am. Not today, because I want to cuss your ass out. And I really wish I could have. I wish I was one of them type of folks. Bitch, let me tell you something, ho. I wish I was that type of person. But I just gave her the hand and went on about my business and proceeded to close on this house. This, you racist like crazy bitch. And then she had the nerves out, y'all. Anyway, moving on from her racist white ass. It's rough out here for black folks in this country. Some of us are able to have success in it, but the vast majority have not. How? When you have no education, no skill sets. Luckily, this mama knew how to do desserts. And I tell people all the time, ask yourself, what did you love to do? What kind of skill sets do you have? Back in the day, my aunts and them used to make all these delicious desserts and stuff. Those desserts could have been sold in stores and sold in restaurants and sold in bake shops that they could have created themselves. I tell that to my aunt Darlene all the time. Start a bake shop. Sometimes she said she started in her own home. Inspiring, starting your own home, your own community. Doesn't require much. We all got stoves in here. We're supposed to have a stove and refrigerator in the house or somehow. You got something in it. I got a couple of stoves and refrigerator in this damn house. I can set an old catering company up if I wanted to cook on a basis like that. Black women own more homes. Women, period, but black women own a lot more homes. You got a ton of black women sitting in these houses by themselves, peeking out the window looking for a husband. America has made sure the United States government, the United States has worked very hard to destroy the black family. And when I make this comment, some of y'all don't get it because you're stupid, you're naive, you don't understand, you live in a fantasy world, you are ignorant. You better look around you. They have worked hard to destroy the black family, in particular black men, because they don't want him to be in control of his family. They don't ever want to see another civil rights movement, another Black Panther, none of that. They don't want to see that no more. So what you do, you just deny them an education. Do not give them a fair chance in the judicial system. God forbid they get in trouble. They're going to be in real trouble in this country. Well, shit, the minute you're born Black in America, you are in trouble. You're in a world of trouble. Some make it through, some do success, like the woman in the story of the restaurant, the Black entrepreneurs I know here in Atlanta. I met an attorney yesterday. He's 33 years of age, an entertainment attorney. Some people are doing extremely well. Not all. It's a rough ride in this country for Black people. It is. I mean, I look at my nieces and nephews. My sister encouraged them. Y'all can smoke weed. I never did that to my children. Because all they do is sit around smoking weed all damn day and can't get shit accomplished. Why would you handicap your child like that? It looks like it's about to rain out here, y'all. It looks like it's about to be a rainy day in Georgia. That's what it looked like. It looked like it's about to be a rainy day in Georgia out here. Anyway. Well, if you live in Chicago, go check out that Dessert Maker's restaurant. If you don't own a home, there are so many opportunities and so many programs out here to purchase a home. So many ways that you can do it. So many amazing, their down payment assistance programs, all kinds of stuff geared towards Black people. Take advantage of that. You know, when I purchased this house, I went through a company online. They never saw my face. They never knew who I was. Never had no conversation. I did everything by email and text message, and literally everything was done through the internet and email. I did that for a reason. Y'all see this chocolate mocha giant out here. They say, oh, this nigga's in anybody's house. Y'all think I would have ran up at any of these mortgage companies here in Atlanta or banks in here and asked, you gotta have some money for a house? I'm not stupid, y'all. But anyway, back to my beard. Did y'all like the way it looked now that it's gone? Y'all look younger, vibrant, handsomer, richer. Anyway, it is Sunday. It is July 9th. We're about to pour down rain, and I'm going to run my ass in this house. It's cool out here. It's supposed to get to 90 degrees today, but I didn't know it was going to rain today. I think it is going to rain. Anyway, it's Sunday, July 9th. The year is 2023. I look forward to reading y'all's comments and views. And you all have a great Sunday. I'm out of here. Enjoy the rest of this beautiful day.